Welcome to the Impact on the Ground podcast series. I'm Tiia Sammallahti, CEO of Whatimpactcom, a tech for good company with the mission to become the LinkedIn of CSR. In this podcast series, we'll dig deeper into what it takes to make an impactful change in our society. I'll give a voice to charities, social enterprises, companies, grant makers, individuals, and government officials who all have one thing in common. They are keen to make a difference. We dive into practical solutions and observe the dynamics of those who have resources to give and those working with the beneficiaries on the ground. Let's start making an impact together.
Hello, my name is Vidya Palaram and I'm the COO at Whatimpact, and today we have a very special episode. Today I will be asking the questions to Tiia, who normally asks the questions, and we are going to find out a little bit about herself and what were the motivations behind why she set up Whatimpact. So Tiia, hello.
Hello, Vidya. Lovely to meet you in this van.
Yeah, exactly. So Tiia, let's start. Why did you set up Whatimpact?
Well, social mission, I guess, passion to make a change. Well, from my past, I've learned that I'm pretty much a business person, and I've been always working with new concepts, I would say, creating something new for the business environment. And I'm not a social worker by nature. I have in my past tried to help out a lot of people in difficulties and stuff, but I have kind of learned my lesson that work is for professionals. So then I just thought a long time ago that how can I harness my skills to make an impact, and then it really kind of cut to me through my own experience fundraising for certain charities and doing a lot of skills-based volunteering, collecting money, product service donations within this kind of a large female network that I founded, that, this model has to be scaled, and digital solution was the solution, for that if you want something scalable, in the charity world, digitalization, is kind of the solution for it. And then the platform idea came a long time ago, before even social media was born. I was talking about Whatimpact as a portal, which I guess it is some kind of a portal at the moment, but it was the era of portals. And I had the idea, but I think the world wasn't ready. I didn't try to set it up as a business then, but I was very passionate, and I created a lot of materials, started working with people, started thinking about the tech and stuff, and then lots of years later, then I started actually setting this up, maybe approximately 5 years ago in the UK. And yeah, of course, the concept has been changed a little bit since the original thought of 2007, but the principle is the same: connecting companies, charities, and individuals, and a platform place which is transparent, efficient, where you can actually learn about the other organization as much as is needed in order to collaborate and make a match. And also, I'm very passionate of kind of bringing front charities, social enterprises, any social value organization who have proven impact, because as we know, not every charitable activity or beneficiary work is impactful. And I'm very much into kind of supporting those organizations who have proven impact, who have the biggest impact, because that is the only way forward. It's not about who has the loudest voice or who has the biggest brand presence or what is the sexiest cause. It's about what the world needs, and that's something that has been very important for me. And I think Whatimpact as a concept now, really kind of helps in not only the transparency but efficiency in matchmaking, and bringing that how would I say, democracy to the field of social value.
So Tiia, what happened before Whatimpact? What was the story that led up to Whatimpact?
Yeah, that story begins 20 years ago almost. So I was a single mom, businesswoman, working full time, 2 young kids, and I just had a really big kind of a drive to help other women and children. I could, kind of see in my situation that things could be much worse, and I thought to find a charity that I could support myself, maybe giving some money and then like used clothes and stuff like that. And it was really hard to find. I had to search some yellow pages and then I suddenly find a charity who helped children and women in need. And I was so ignorant, luckily, that I contacted the CEO of the charity, which was kind of like a waste of her time, but then happened to be that it's not. But I contacted her, went to visit, and I wanted to learn about the charity. And whilst I was sitting there and she was talking about the amazing work with teenage mothers, drug addict moms, and so on. And I was sitting there, I realized that, oh my goodness, that I as a single person have now spent like an hour of her time, and she's talking to me and she could be doing so much more, like valuable work. And I said to her that I'm so impressed that I'm kind of humbled that she could even see me, and I apologize for taking her time, but I said that I will make this world for a while, that I will be coming back at some point and I will be doing something for you guys. And from that day on, I decided that I have to invent something that is scaling something. It's not just me giving, I have to invent something. And at the same time, it was like 20 years ago, like I said, women didn't have always the same work opportunities than men. It wasn't, of course, very obvious, but yes, we were left out, and I was a very ambitious business person. I could see that, I couldn't get to the tables where I was supposed to be in terms of my kind of achievements. And we then sat down with several women and decided that we're going to be setting up this kind of network organization, which is invitation only for very established business people, ambitious people who are willing to help each other. And half of the kind of the purpose of the network would be then helping out this charity that I have found. Children and women, but then half of the time we were then just developing ourselves, our network, and kind of really bonding and helping each other out in the business world. And we ran that organization successfully, and I was the head of it like for 5 years in the beginning, and we started doing quite big projects for these charities. So we were actually renovating their buildings. We used our own expertise because we have lawyers and property developers. We had interior designers in the community. Everybody gave their time for free. And because we knew so many people and companies, we were just picking up phones and getting everything for free. Whether it was a truck taking something to the dump, or whether it's paints or walls or whatever, grass for the playgrounds, equipment. And then we just collected a little bit money to fill in the gaps, but otherwise we were doing work that was worth like tens of thousands, not even hundreds of thousands for this charity. In their property-wise, we were also doing a lot of collections for Christmas for poor families and stuff. And after doing that for 5 years, I was just thinking that, we've been spending so much time in this creating this network, but not every charity can have this kind of a supporting organization. That what about if there were like a digital platform where any charity could actually list whatever they needed, and the public could just go there and find them on a map based on the causes, whatever, and they could see how they could help, because everybody has something to give, whether you're individual, whether you're a company, any organization can donate something. And that was a long time ago. And then economic crash 2008, when I was really kind of excited about my idea, and I was like, okay, I cannot set anything up. And luckily I didn't. I must say, I think world wasn't so ready. So now we can go back to maybe 5-6 years when I started really working within charity industry here in the UK, building my networks, launching our first iteration 2018 of the platform, and now which is extended to Whatimpact, which is now two-sided marketplace for anything that has to do with social value and so on. So it started 20 years ago from my personal desire to help.
Wow, that's incredible. I had no idea it was such a long story. Wow. If you were to summarize what your big why is in one or two sentences, what's the big why behind Whatimpact?
Well, like I said, that I think everyone has to contribute to the society. And I believe that I have talent of inventing new business concepts. And this is a business concept in such that, it serves an industry. And this is my forte. And my idea has been backed now by, the charity sector, CSR sector, company charities are excited about it. We've been getting government money, we've been getting investment money to build this in our platform. So it's my duty to take this further, because if and when Whatimpact becomes kind of like a LinkedIn for the CSR, there will be so much more money, time and other resources saved from both recipient side of the organizations, the beneficiary organizations, and also from companies and grant makers who are now using sometimes more money in order to find the partners and managing them rather than donating. So if we can save time and money from both ends, then we have kind of the chance to actually reach the UN Sustainability Development Goals, because, we just need more resources for delivering social value. And social value to me is environmental, culture, any value, but societal value.
Excellent. So essentially, it's basically everyone pulling together to basically make the world a better place in a strategic manner.
Yeah. Yes. So it is actually systems change, because you can create change in different levels. You can do like active emergency change, which is of course needed. If there's a hurricane, you have to help the victims. Then you go deeper and deeper. I'm trying to change the system, how these collaborations are made. And that's my level. And I believe that this concept, which is obviously not now only my brainchild anymore, we have a team and like Vidya, and the whole team and our advisors, investors, the whole CSR sector who has been behind us now. I mean, we've been doing so much workshopping and working with our clients in order to achieve what we have achieved now. So, we believe now as a community that if this works, it has a huge impact, and that's my mission.
Cool. So why is it so important to change the way how partnerships are formed?
Well, it is just, first of all, a lot of resources are perishable. So if you don't volunteer like this week and you had time, you cannot save that time. You cannot put it in a bank. Lots of services that companies could be donating, they might be, they have some spare time, they don't have client work at some point, or you cannot put that in a bank. There are a lot of product donations, they have to get rid of something, they cannot be stored forever. They have to be donated. Also, if you think about companies, for instance, if you don't donate something this budget year, you kind of don't keep it in a bank. Every year is a different fiscal year. So if you have something to give, it has to be given just on time. So that's one thing. Then lots of organizations want to find each other. So difficult. Like I said, 20 years ago, I was looking something from the yellow pages. Today, people are still looking something on almost like today's yellow pages, just browsing Google. Yeah, Google is the yellow page, and you're trying to find something, and you don't know anything about this organization, different type of websites, different kind of information. You have to start really kind of digging in deep. Do companies have that time? Do they have people for the job? So the finding information, finding the right organization, and then actually kind of start matching and having the communication. What would they need? What would they achieve with it? The whole thing. We have put everything on the platform now. Everything is there. It's a tool that you use. And it's due diligence, it's transparent information, and the most important, impact reporting. If we want to save the world, make it a better place, we have to support organizations who make the biggest change, the biggest difference. And that's why the impact reporting is so important. We have created this extensive tool now based on our years of, kind of working with the organizations on social value, that they can report constantly to their funders about the achievements, what they made, and not only like some quantitative numeric values, how many people reads or something, but what is the difference that they made to this world with proven data, and also the linkage to the UN Sustainability Development Goals. So that will then, kind of influence on that the companies and grant makers will be then moving the money and other resources towards those organizations who make the biggest difference, obviously. And then the whole world, benefits.
Cool. That's so amazing. So knowing what you know now, several years into this journey of entrepreneurship, what would you do differently, if anything?
Well, actually, I could approach the question from two aspects. I could be giving like startup advice as a startup entrepreneur, and in that, or then kind of from my personal kind of life aspect of things. So I don't know which one you want to tackle.
Both, because actually I'd love to know, what advice do you have for any budding entrepreneurs? And then, of course, the people at the heart of startups. So both I think are really valuable. So
yeah, well, it's been in my case, it's been a huge personal journey. So I must say that like 6 years ago, I was a totally different person. I took the leap 7 years ago to do a full-time MBA course. I moved from Finland to UK, to a different market, brought my family, 3 children and a husband here, and did my full-time MBA. And I was a really different person, but I knew I wanted to look things from different aspects. And I was part of this kind of female network here in London called Driven Woman, which is a concept that still runs, and it's amazing. So I was there part of that organization for several years and kind of did some kind of, I would say, personal viewpoint changes, not real lifestyle changes or anything like that, but, kind of the mindset changes. Not that I wasn't a brave person before, but kind of really kind of dedicating myself to my own path and kind of being very true to myself. And I chose to be positive. You know how easy it to dwell sometimes in negative feelings and also kind of become quite cynical.
Yeah.
And also you might be hanging around with people who are not like good for your soul, I would say. And I'm not talking in nothing like negative to happen, but it's just like too superficial people who don't have their values in place. And I just chose to go to a different route. And that then gave an opportunity to really get this startup going because I knew that I was on my path. I chose to be positive. I chose to believe, and I didn't have a plan B.
That's so cool.
So I chose to have only plan A. And it was very difficult. And of course, setting up a startup when you have a PowerPoint presentation and no technology background at all, and you are setting up a tech company. And, I really invested my own time, but also my savings. Yeah. So my kind of advice to anyone is that you have to have some kind of a financial leverage. And everything was my self-earned money from my work. So it wasn't like I had some cash just lying around the bank, but I have to give up a lot of stuff. And also all the time balance that I don't give up too much because I still had a family, to feed and stuff. So everything had to be kept in balance. And then, I found my lead investor who was a soul sister and who then believed in the systems change. She could see that in the concept. And she said that this is where I want my money to go to. She said she could put it in philanthropy, just give it away to charity, but she then thought that she would be investing it in this social impact company because she thinks that with that money she can help tens of thousands of organizations eventually. So that then created the first, the win that I could just set up the first iteration of the platform. And then after that, if you were asking about what would you do differently, I think it has to do mainly that the people you work with. And I've been now doing this so many years that, of course, there's been different subcontractors, different people working for me, lots of collaboration with different kind of organizations. And I have to say that all the struggles have come from kind of bad choice of people and then not letting them go kind of early enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot get dragged by a person or organization who is not supporting you while you're kind of doing a joint venture somehow, or you're collaborating. Even though you think that somebody is so valuable as an organization or individual, that they know so much or they have this reputation or whatever, if the energy is not there and the belief is not there, they will drag you down as your energy and as a person. So yeah, I've been doing, of course, tough choices as well, but I think that those have been the most kind of needed choices, and that those have been, of course, the most difficult ones when you have to leave something behind or change your course and stuff.
How do you? For sure. I hear what you're saying. How do you ensure that you get the right balance? Because there's a lot of work to do as a CEO and founder, and in startup world, we're all wearing 3 or 4 different hats at the same time. So how do you ensure that you move the company on at the right pace, yet still have quality time with the family?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes you might think that do I have a balance? But then again, what is the balance is the question. I've always worked hard, and some people are kind of saying, to me that, of course, you are working hard because this is your baby. I'm like, I've always worked hard, regardless if I work for somebody else's baby. I've always been very entrepreneurial in mind. I've been only working with companies, within companies, or, just that I really loved and I was passionate about. And I've been working in various industries, property development, marketing, PR, luxury goods, and so on. I've been always passionate about those things. And I was working maybe even harder than now. I was like, almost like a workaholic at some point. So, I work a lot, but I guess having this kind of a vision keeps you energized.
Yeah.
And then kind of that you have people who believe in it. You have funders, you have staff who is excited about the vision, and they believe in it and stuff. It just keeps you going. And I definitely, as you know, Vidya, I can go supping 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or I might be taking a nap in the middle of the day. I've chosen to just nurture myself, take the privileges, what also the staff members have, going out for hour in the middle of the workday or something. And then, you work maybe later in the evening, maybe you do something during the weekend. It's not about hours, it's about how you use your time. So, I think I've been quite good at keeping the balance, but I am totally different from many maybe other mothers. And I've been feeling guilty about it sometimes as well, that I've been working a lot and stuff, but then again, I have to be true to myself and what my strengths are and who I am as an individual. Not everybody is, baking cookies at home and doing the school runs and stuff. So I've been just doing other stuff, and other people have been doing those things, I guess. Yeah.
So what's your ultimate vision for Whatimpact?
Well, I really hope, I think it sounds very cliché and some people are laughing at me, but then some people actually see this, that how like LinkedIn changed how people are being connected in the business world, whether it's sales or recruitment. I want this to happen to Whatimpact, that the CSR activities, the connections and stuff, and the transparent, everything is there in one place, and we can be then linked with other kind of platforms or softwares and their data. Not that everybody's just using us, because that wouldn't make any sense. But we are the place where you connect all this information to, so it's in one place. So it's like a rooftop concept. Of course, I want this to be scaling to other countries, definitely, because, the challenge in the sector is the same. It doesn't matter where you go. So that's my vision.
That's cool. Cool. Thank you for sharing. I've got some quick fire questions to get to know you better, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what book are you currently reading? It's one of my favourite questions because I think you learn a lot about somebody when you find out what they're reading.
Well, difficult question. I might have some kind of unfinished crime novel somewhere that I don't remember the name. So I think I have to read so much for work. You know, like we do heavy duty content. We're doing white papers and academic journals and, government procurement policy notes and stuff. So I have to read quite a lot. So that's why my book reading it's not in very good state. But I guess I was reading some self-help books, actually listening, if that counts.
It does count because I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was exactly the same boat, reading, writing so much. And I was so grateful for when Audible came out because actually years were going by because I just couldn't look at another book by the time I got home because I'd read so many heavy documents during the day. So yes, what are you listening to then?
Yeah, so I don't even remember the name. I have to maybe dig it out from my mobile, but it was some kind of a personal development book about like a certain personalities and their attachment styles. Okay. Was it Attached? I think, yeah. And because I think, whether it's romantic relationship or whether it's any friendships or how people interact, it's very important to understand where you kind of come from, where your kind of emotions come from, why you're reacting, because you might be having different attachment styles. And I think it was actually called Attached and was very interesting book. And, but that was on Audible.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So this one, what was the first concert you went to?
I guess it was Van Halen in Helsinki, maybe 1985. Somebody probably, I don't know. That probably was it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like an old Olympic stadium, which was used for the concert. So.
Oh, wow. Interesting you mentioned the Olympics because that nicely takes me on to my next question. It's an Olympic year, so I thought, if you could win any Olympic medal, what would it be? So I'm curious, I'm not sure what...
Basketball, of course.
I would never have guessed that one. I would have put you as a runner.
Yeah, well, I am a runner, but I'm a basketball player as well. And I have to now emphasize the fact that I wasn't super good, but I have played in a very good team in Finland when I was a teenager. Lots of, kind of very good players, and I was lucky to be involved. I had my strengths. I was a very good defender, but not that big of a hoop shooter. But yeah, and I've been playing here in London as well in mixed league for several seasons and so on. So I'd love to be that good that I won an Olympic medal. That would be amazing.
That's so cool. Tiia, it's almost like you're a mind reader and you're going into all of my questions. So my next question is, what's your hidden talent?
Well, it's not my hidden talent, it is for sure. But what would be my hidden talent? Hidden talent. Well, actually, I don't know if it's very hidden. It might be obvious talent, but I've always said that I'm not brilliant in anything, but I'm good at many things. So my children know that, I'm a big cooker, but I'm not this kind of stay-home mom who nurtures. And, I've been always saying that mom can fix everything, that if there's a problem in life, in any areas, I'm a very good fixer. So I just fix things. And that's what I tell them. And they always know that, okay, there might be not freshly baked cookies at home when they come, but if they have a problem, mommy will fix it. So fixing everything and anything.
So Tiia, thank you. I've got one last question for you. Where is your happy place?
Well, that's very simple. I live in Guildford, and my happy place is Riverway, the pathways, and the Surrey Hills would start, the downs that I run there. And it's just that those hills and that river has really kept me sane, not just during the COVID, but throughout these years. it's been sometimes very challenging to set up this company and stuff, but they've been just, I don't know, they've been getting me so much energy just running there, whether it's been raining, shining, whatever. And it's just this Surrey nature is something that I really, really appreciate. And I just feel like home. That's where is my happy place.
Oh, it's amazing. Nature is very good to energize the soul and provide creativity.
Definitely. And I guess everybody has their kind of own kind of environment. Of course, there are lots of beautiful places in the world. But for some reason, I really enjoy this English, like a Surrey area nature, the green, kind of the wild kind of forest and stuff. And I love the riversides, but also then, kind of the mountains that you can ride either with your bike or running. But especially like, let's say last spring when the first lockdown came and, there was lots and lots of kind of alone time. I was then a single person and had my child, who is now only child who is living at home because my older ones are adults already and moved out. So I had half of the time by myself in a locked apartment, and I thought that the nature really kind of kept me sane, and every day I was looking forward to going out. Yeah, I was probably in the best shape in my whole life because there was nothing else to do.
That's brilliant. That's so good. That's so good. Tiia, thank you for your time, and thank you for letting me interview you and allowing our listeners to get a better understanding of who you are as a CEO and founder, and understanding why you created Whatimpact. I think it's been a very interesting story. I've known you for many years. There's lots of things that I didn't know, so thank you for sharing.
And maybe next time I interview you. So Vidya has been such an incremental part of this Whatimpact development and journey that we make a very good team. So let's focus on your story next time.
Oh gosh, didn't see that one coming. So if any of our listeners are intrigued about Whatimpact, please go onto the platform, Whatimpactcom, create a profile. It's open to companies, grant makers, charities and social enterprises. And essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to match the companies and grant makers who've got resources to give with charities and social enterprises based on shared visions and missions and goals. And as Tiia said, once these resources have been shared and partnerships have been formed, then the supporters, the grant makers and companies will get a social impact report, which is crucial to shareholders and stakeholders of many of these organisations. So follow us on LinkedIn. We're Whatimpact. Follow us on Insta, and we're on Facebook. So
we are very much kind of a company who is out and open, and you can definitely reach us through channels. We respond to emails and phones and all that. So we really want to interact with any type of organization or individual.
Cool. Thank you again. Super.
Thank you, Vidya.
All right, signing out. Bye-bye.
So thank you for tuning into Whatimpact on the Ground podcast. It's been great to have you with us. I'm Tiia Sammallahti, CEO of Whatimpactcom, a tech for good company with the mission to become the LinkedIn of CSR. Whether you are a company with resources to give or a charity or social enterprise looking for resources to make an impact, check out our platform and start your free trial now. Let's make a difference together.